It's the wrap-up show with John Schaefer and Jim Russell. We're presented by Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance. Merry Christmas. If you're new to this channel, you got to subscribe to this channel. We have exclusive year-round Padres content all winter, all lockout into spring training in 2022 and beyond. You saw Jim pointing below. Hit the subscribe button. If you hit the notification bell, you'll be notified when we have new videos. Please like this content and this video by hitting the thumbs up. And follow us on Twitter as well, at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. On this Christmas Day, we want to thank our title sponsor, Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance. This would not be possible without Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance. And we're about to tell you what we're thankful for as Padres fans. We're thankful here on the wrap-up show for the support of Mark Nimitz, who's our title sponsor. And if you're shopping for auto, home, renters, or life insurance, you got to consider Mark. He's a San Diegan. He's a huge Padres fan. If you have any insurance needs, there's a link down below. You can hook up with Mark, and if you have an electric vehicle, he's lowered his rates on electric vehicle models. He's been doing this for over a decade. He's got great customer service and communication. This holiday season, if you have any insurance needs and you support this channel, please consider Mark Nimitz. Give him a call. He'd love to talk Padres with you. He can help you and your family with your insurance needs this Christmas and holiday season.
And all his information is above my head, phone number and email address, mnimitz@farmersagent.com. That's mnimitz@farmersagent.com. When you reach out to him, like John said, let him know the wrap-up show sent you.
All right, get your comments in right now as we discuss what we are thankful for as Padres fans on this Christmas Day. So we'll go back and forth, but we want to hear from you. We'll reply in the chat. So please, in the chat down below, reply with your thoughts on what you're thankful for this holiday season as a Padres fan. I'm going to start with this, Jim. And by the way, nice background. Good job with the wrap-up show with Santa.
Very Christmas.
Rudolph.
Yes.
And yeah, Merry Christmas, man.
Gingerbread house.
I'm going to start with Peter Seidler. I mean, Peter Seidler representing ownership and investing in this franchise and in this city and in the fan base the way he has over the last year plus to put this team in a position where they are up against the luxury tax threshold, despite being in not one of the larger markets technically, but spending like they're a big market team. I know they didn't win in 2021, and I know that was disappointing for Peter Seidler and for Padres fans, and they have to win, but it's very difficult to fault Peter Seidler for his investment in this franchise and what they're going to spend in 2022 as well. So I feel like Padres fans are pretty fortunate and should feel pretty fortunate this Christmas Day that their owner is Peter Seidler.
Because we all know what it's like to have your team be in the bottom tier of payrolls in baseball.
So
and it's not fun. Like, the fun part in the off seasons as a fan is seeing those big signings or seeing those big trades or, you know, taking on money and like, it's not our money, so I don't care about it. That was the biggest thing. It's like these owners are like pinching the pennies. It's just it sucked for a long time. And now this team has an owner and this fan base has an owner that has a payroll over $200 million, which is crazy. So yeah, Peter Seidler's probably the top of a lot of people's lists,
right,
as far as what they're thankful for. I'm obviously, and you are too, and every Padres fan is, you got to say it, you're thankful for Fernando Tatis Jr.
Yeah.
He is a generational type of player, and the Padres haven't had that since Tony Gwynn. And even Tony Gwynn did not resonate, I feel like, Fernando Tatis does. Also, you're dealing with different climate. You're in the social media era. You know, the second Tatis does something amazing, it's all over social media, and everybody could see it. Everybody could watch it. You know, a lot of people probably had to wait a couple days before they found out what Tony Gwynn did. And while he's great, you know, Mr. Padre, same thing with Trevor Hoffman, Hall of Famer, Ken Caminiti, you know, all these players that have come through the Padres, none of them touch what Fernando Tatis Jr. is capable of and what he is doing. Because I mean, we had a guy in Denmark, I forget his name. He was watching a live stream last night. And he said the reason why he's a Padres fan is because he saw highlights of Fernando Tatis Jr.
Right.
That only happens for a handful of people in sports, is when just, you know, you're watching sports or you're not a big fan of a certain sport and you see a player and you attach to that player and it causes you to be a fan of that team because he's on it. That's what Fernando Tatis Jr. does. He is probably I would say bigger than the Padres. And it's just a fact. Like, this guy resonates more, I feel like, than the Padres franchise. And that's not a bad thing. You want him on your team, and he's here for 14 years. So, yes, we are 1000% thankful for Fernando Tatis Jr. to be in a Padres uniform.
Just having the chance to watch him every night, and we don't take it for granted. We say it every single night on the radio. We have the last 2 years. He's doing something that is completely unbelievable. Basically, every single time he's on the field, whether it's the mammoth home runs or the defensive plays or the stolen bases or even just the little things like the matrix slides back into first. I mean, everything. His smile's infectious. Just everything about his game, everything about it really is special. And having grown up on this game, there aren't a lot of Fernando Tatis Juniors in the history of the sport. There just aren't. I mean, there are special players, and Tony Gwynn was an absolutely brilliant ball player and accomplished more in his career in a Padres uniform than Tatis has. But to your point, Tatis has only played 3 years, and he's been hurt for parts of 2 of those years. But the potential of Tatis is beyond any player in the history of the franchise. Now, he's got to live up to it, and there's time to do that. Hopefully that starts in 2022. I'll give you another reason I'm thankful related to the Padres here heading into 2022, and it's for San Diegan Joe Musgrove, who did something last year that no Padre had ever done, and we've talked about it for decades, and that's obviously capping off the no-hitter. Did it in Arlington. But it wasn't just the no-hitter. It's one thing to throw a no-hitter and do it in some random season as a random player and have like a 6 ERA, but have that special game. He had a great year. He really did. He pitched like an ace last year, had a 3.18 ERA, made 32 appearances through 181 and the third innings. I think he's a big part of the future of the Padres. Now, I know they got to lock him up for him to be a big part of the future of the Padres, but to be a San Diego kid back home pitching for your hometown franchise and to be so impactful in his first year, even though the year was disappointing, it wasn't because of Joe. He's so refreshing to hear. You know, he's a leader in that clubhouse. I hope he's here for the next 5 years. I really do. I think he could be here when the Padres win a World Series. I'd love to see him pitch in a World Series game for the Padres for the first time in, 23, 24, 25 years. So what Joe Musgrove did last year, despite it being a really bad year, if we're being honest, for the Padres, it was refreshing, and I hope we see him in the brown and gold for the next half decade.
I hope once this lockout ends, we see a Joe Musgrove extended, tweet from the Padres. Yep. That would be,
and hopefully it's not like the Clevenger one. Hey, we signed Clevenger to a 2-year deal. Oh, by the way, he's out for the next 2 years. So Tommy John.
Yeah, that was one of the weirdest press releases you've ever seen.
Ever.
Manny Machado, like, you look at this Padres franchise as a whole and the history of the Padres. Yeah, Hosmer signed a big contract, but at the time you're like, whoa, okay. He didn't transcend he didn't cause, I don't know, an earthquake in the baseball world. Like, oh, Eric Hosmer signing with the Padres? Like, it was like, oh, Eric Hosmer signing with the Padres. That's a lot of money for him. Hope he can live up to that contract. Manny Machado, when he signed his $300 million 10-year deal with the Padres, that was the signal. Okay, Padres are stepping in the ring with the big boys. Like, that was the time to win. We are not messing around anymore. We're opening up the check. We're signing big players. And Manny Machado chose to come to San Diego, albeit it was the most money offered. Yes, but he still chose to come here. He chose to come to San Diego. And Machado, one of the best defensive third basemen in all of baseball, one of the best overall third basemen in all of baseball. And the thing about Machado that people don't talk about enough with him is he plays every day. We know he was dealing with some type of injury last year. We heard it from coaches and even from him, but we never knew exactly what he had. And that's what Machado is. He's a guy who doesn't make any excuses. He's going to go out there and he's going to play every day, even if he's hurt. So Machado is and going to be a huge reason why this team wins. Hopefully it's next year, but you got to be thankful for Manny Machado, man. That guy is, some things he does defensively, you're like, that looked way too smooth, and it's probably the hardest play that anybody's ever made.
Right. He's like the only third baseman in the history of baseball to make plays on the warning track in right field. And you're right. I mean, you said it well. And if you honestly look in the numbers and what he's done the last 2 years, he's been great. And I know they want to win. When you spend $300 million, you want to win more than they've won these 3 years. But he's been a really good player. And he's not the reason why the Padres failed to take advantage last year and stumbled down the stretch and went 79 and 83. But that $300 million deal at the time was the biggest contract ever handed out in North American sports history. I mean, it was a crazy investment. And like we said with Tatis earlier, it's kind of like a pinch me moment. Manny Machado is going to be on the Padres for at least the next couple of seasons, if not for the next 7 seasons.
And it's a testament to just how good Machado is when you look at his year last year. And for most players, that's like the best year they'll ever have in their lives. But for Machado, I'm sure he'll say it as well. He could have done better.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the good thing, or what people don't realize about Machado is he can do better than what he's given the Padres. And that's just a testament to how good of a player he is. I'm not saying that what he's done for the Padres so far hasn't been good. It's been really good. You know, he was a third in MVP voting in 2020, albeit a 60-game year. And he almost hit 30 home runs last year, being injured. It's 100 RBIs. So for Machado, and Gold Glove defense, by the way, for Machado, it's like, yeah, that's a really good season, but he still could do better. And that's great to have on your team.
All right. We each have one more. And by the way, what are you thankful for this Christmas as a Padres fan? Reply down below. We'll make sure to get to those over the course of the next couple of days. Before we get to our final things that we're thankful for as Padres fans this holiday season, we want to tell you about StreamYard. That's how we stream. That's how we do our YouTube channel. That's how you can podcast. That's how you can start a YouTube channel. And for our viewers this holiday season, we have 2 weeks free, no credit card required. There's a link down below. Again, if you support this channel, please support our partners, whether it's StreamYard or Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance. But for our viewers, Jim, and you're more familiar with the software than I am, 2 weeks free, no credit card required. The link is down below. You can literally podcast or start a video chat or start a YouTube channel today with StreamYard.
And if you're watching this right now and you want to start a podcast like this, or you want to start a podcast about anything else, StreamYard is the easiest way to go to start one. You don't have to be in the same room as your partner or partners. You can, do it from across states. You can do it from across the world. Like you can stream with anybody at any time. Super simple, super easy. You can stream on platforms live like Facebook, YouTube, which we're doing, which we've done, Twitter, Twitch, LinkedIn.
Got to do it.
LinkedIn. You can do that. And if you don't want to stream, video, and you just want audio, you can convert this into an MP3 and upload it to your favorite podcast platform. And it's super simple, super easy. Click the link below.
All right, link down below again. 2 weeks free, no credit card required for our viewers this holiday season. All right, here's the final thing I'm thankful for as a Padres fan this holiday season, Jim. Petco Park. Seriously, I mean, Petco Park and what that means to San Diego and to Padres fans. Remember what the old place was, which has now been knocked down. We know what happened with the football team that played there. Like, it could have been a lot different than what happened. I mean, if not for that vote in the late 90s to get this gem of a ballpark downtown in San Diego, which anchors the East Village and completely transformed the city of San Diego. I mean, it's like certain things, it's not that we take them for granted, but shoot, whether the Padres are good or not, Petco Park is always going to be one of the gems of baseball in this country in terms of, a viewing experience and entertainment experience. The one thing the Padres haven't done at Petco Park is really win. I mean, they did in 2020, but nobody was there. That was the shame of it. I mean, they won that incredible series against the Cardinals, and yet we could only enjoy it outside. I just can't wait to see Petco Park filled soon in meaningful postseason games that the Padres are winning. So this holiday season, nearing the 20-year anniversary? We're nearing the 20-year anniversary of Petco Park. It remains one of the great ballparks in America, and that's the final thing I'm thankful for this holiday season.
And we were there for the reopening of San Diego,
Yeah.
the Victor Caratini walk-off, and we walked through the ballpark and we said, this is a playoff atmosphere right now. And if you can get that in actual playoff games, man, it will be the place to be. No doubt about it. The gas lamp would be crazy, and this park deserves like real playoff games with fans in the stands. No doubt about it. What I'm thankful for, final one from me, before I say what I'm thankful for, is this team has had a lot of losing seasons. A lot of times where you're watching on TV and you're like, man, this is bad baseball, but you still watch and you're still entertained. And one of the reasons why, and the main reasons why, Don and Mud. Those
Hmm.
guys are some of, if not the best broadcasters on television in all of baseball. Even Jesse and Tony on the radio do a great
Yep.
job too. But, Don and Mud on the TV side, it's it's sometimes when you listen to other broadcasts, there's a handful that are really good in baseball, and Don and Mud are in that handful. But sometimes other broadcasts you listen to, you're like, man, these guys are really bad, and they're not entertaining, and they're not fun to watch. But Don and Mud, every single game, winning or losing, they find a way to make it super entertaining, super enjoyable. And Don Orsillo, coming from the Red Sox, like, I mean, are you serious? You go for the Red Sox to the Padres, you're kind of thinking to yourself, why'd you leave the Red Sox? But, other things happen there.
Hmm.
But getting him in San Diego to pair with Mud, who is one of the funniest guys on television, I would think that all Padres fans would agree that this broadcasting team and as a whole, that is something to be so thankful for, because watching games, losing teams, it's hard. And if you have a good broadcast team, it makes it a little easier.
I think it's really well said, and I think you're spot on. I think it's the entire TV team, by the way, from pre to
Mhm.
post. I think they do excellent work on Bally
Everybody.
Sports San Diego, and I'm with you as well. And I know we work for a competitor. I think the radio broadcast is excellent. I think it's among the best in baseball, and I listen to it often because we're in the cars driving to and from,
Yeah.
doing wrap-up shows. And yeah, I'm 100% with you, and hopefully they rock and roll again in 2022. So what are you thankful for as a Padres fan? Reply down below. What are you thankful for this holiday season? Again, subscribe to the wrap-up show. It is Christmas. Subscribe to the wrap-up show. We'll give you content heading into 2022. Hit the notification bell. You'll be notified when we have future videos. And hit the thumbs up if you like these videos, and follow us on Twitter at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. Can I get a ho, ho, ho from you, Jim, on the way out?
Ho, ho, ho.
Come on, a little
Merry
more. It's
Christmas.
Christmas.
Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody. This has been the wrap-up show presented by Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance.